There can absolutely be a power imbalance when one person in the relationship has recently come out as queer. I'm Lindsay, I'm a certified trauma recovery coach, and I'm also a survivor of abuse in a queer relationship. If you haven't seen my recent video about power dynamics in newly out queer relationships, go check it out. I already did a lot of explaining on what that can look like and why. I do fully believe that there are people who will exploit a newly out queer person who is seeking validation and acceptance and don't really know what's going on. And so that person can, of course, say, this is how it is, that's not how it is, basically convincing that person to do things their way, which isn't necessarily the way that all queer people are. I want to add to that. There can be a lot more to power dynamics than the obvious. Often we think about people who are rich. Maybe they're in the spotlight, they're famous, they have a better career, or they're older, wiser, more financially stable, whatever that might look like. We think that those people are always going to have the power imbalance. That can be true, absolutely, but it's not always the case. There are also things that are more subtle. For example, in my queer relationship, there was a very clear vibe that they were a better catch than I was. It was to be understood that they were more attractive, they were more desirable, they had had loads of women, and here I am, don't know anything. Nobody would desire me because I was newly out, not everyone would have the patience, and so on. Again, that's queer specific. Some things that are less queer specific that could happen across the board are when someone comes along and, like I said, they feel like they're more desirable, they're a better catch. There's going to be a vibe there where you're just supposed to be grateful that that person is even giving you the time of day. Another thing I experienced that contributed to the power imbalance was that they came into the relationship single with no kids and I had a child. And so it was very much like, you are taking this freedom from me and I'm going to come down to your level, and you should just again be so thankful that I'm willing to help you with your child and be a part of this family. And then there's also the example of if you have a pre-existing condition that you struggle with and they don't, that can be a power dynamic as well. For example, I have ADHD and I do struggle to keep an orderly house and to remember to feed myself and take my vitamins and things like that. So it was very much, I have a better brain than you. I am the one who is smarter and wiser and more capable than you. And so again, you should be grateful for me. These are just a couple of examples of some things that can contribute to the power imbalance that may be very difficult to spot. I'm curious what types of things you experienced to make you feel like there was a power imbalance in your relationship. Share them in the comments if you feel comfortable.